What's going on, my good people? This your boy, like Book the Entertainer, here to bring you some action at the Capitol Battle of the Bands. This is going to be interesting to see all these bands perform at the Capitol Battle of the Bands. We were supposed to have Morgan State here, but something happened with their bus. I found that out. Something they had some bus issues, but the bands that did participate, we had Norfolk State University, we have North Carolina Central, we have Hampton, we have Howard, we have Winston-Salem, we have Bowie State, we have Virginia State, and we have North Carolina A&T. Okay, that's a lot of bands. Okay, that's a lot of bands that we got to grade now. I will be grading the field shows today and sometime next week if I have time to. I will try to get the stand battles in pretty soon as well. Okay, so and the Legion battle of the bands, be looking out for that as well as far as that stand battle as well. I already recorded it, but I haven't released it just yet because I haven't had the time to edit the video. So, but we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff that we got to grade today. Be glad to release this to y'all, to the public today. So, really appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much. All right. So, with that being said, there's no favoritism being stated today. Just want to let y'all know. I just want to see who's the strongest, but whoever band's the strongest, they would not get a dub from me. Every band has an opportunity to get a dub simply by them just having a good, strong grade. Okay, for me, a passing grade, every band can get a dub. Alright? And that can help them with their record. Okay, so these records go into the tier list that I do every year. This is my second season doing this, so hope y'all enjoy that type of content. If y'all want to see what a tier list look like for me, please click on the link above. Okay. With that being said, so what are we grading? Look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're gonna be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, and breakdown. Maximum points they can make all together is a 25. In the creative department, they have an extra incentive of 5, so they can pretty much round their grade up to a 30. Okay. If a band is able to get a perfect field show, which 5 in all categories besides creative, I will give them a perfect field show rating, okay? And they will receive a dub on their name. If a band is not able to receive a perfect field show rating from me, if they at least score 27 on their score, I will give them a perfect field show rating. Not a perfect field show rating, but a passing grade, okay? Some bands are going to be stronger than others. Okay, so it kind of depends on what they decide to pull. Okay, some bands will get a perfect 30. Some bands might not. I don't know what to expect. All right, but regardless, I am going to give them that dub if they make at least a 27. Now, as far as that grading scale close to the end of the video to see who is the strongest overall, again, this is my opinion. So even if there's a tie, I'm going to give my sense of who I think was the strongest. Okay. So, do not bash your boy in the comments because your band did not get a top tier position that you would want them to be in, okay? I love all HBCU bands. I grade them from the Swag, Meek, Seek, you name it, alright? So, with that being said, I did enough rambling. Let's get into the action. We got Norfolk State University. Got a chance to see them one time this season, and I got a chance to go against Virginia State. So, if you want to see that video, please click on above, okay? Very interesting battle that I saw between them. So I know what they can pull. They very strong in that field. So let's see what they got going on into this battle. Okay. So let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the executive leadership of Dr. Javon Adams and the director leadership of William H. Belair and Stephanie K. Sanders, the Spartan Legion is proud to be a participant in the Capital City Battle of the Bands to musical excellence. And now, Spartan Legion, let the heavens bring sound to your magnificent sound. And let every musical excellence be the soul of their reputation is known throughout the nation. Their sound transcends through every generation. And echoes the triumph and power of God. A dynasty
Very slight 8 to 5 issues. On the left hand side. Sound, man, it's so beautiful. Pretty sound, yeah.
If you don't know how to make chords,
every flame will spark something new. I'll do all the things that your feet won't do.
That was pretty dope. Okay. Okay. That was nice. That was nice.
We have got to the point where
Alrighty, let's give that a grade. That was nice. That was really, 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 really nice. I was right on time, okay? So, entrance is a 5. Songs is a 5. Dancers is a 5. Breakdowns a 5. Creativity is a 5. Formations a 4. Okay? They got a 29, almost a perfect, and almost a perfect 30. All right, almost a perfect 30. They were right there, right there. All right, I'm gonna tell you why. In the beginning of the field show, on the left-hand side, they're right, but the left-hand side, from what we're seeing, was some 8 to 5 issues going to that side. Okay, we had a little bit on the other side as well, but more so on the left-hand side. Okay, but they still got a passing grade for me. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Paya. They got them a dub on their name. Okay, so that's a nice record starting off with the season. You know, I'm going to be grading some more from Norfolk pretty soon. Okay, so if you're part of the Norfolk family, please consider subscribing on YouTube. Okay. Really means a lot, and I think y'all will enjoy more content from me because I got more to grade. But yeah, man, they did pretty good. They did very, very well, and that's a strong score. They got a 29. That's not bad at all. Alrighty. So we got North Carolina Central. Alright, so Central's next. I know they don't have the best of records right now, but that can definitely change with this field show. Okay, let's see if they're gonna get their first dub of the season. Okay, so let's get into it. Shout out to Ricky the Realist for catching the footage. My dude did a whole roll starting out.
Before we get started, are there any Eagles in the house that may hear you make some noise? Trumpets, let's make sure they look about the sound. Machine.
Five issues on the left. Well, 8 to 5 issues on the right. pretty. Alrighty, let's get that a grade. That was a very entertaining field show from North Carolina Central. But what did they make? Let's find out. Alright, so entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Songs, a 5. Formations, a 4. Dancers, a 5. Breakdowns, a 4. Okay? So, why did I give them a 4 in formation? Why did I give them a 4 in breakdown? Okay? Formations, before they even started their drill, before they even got into the pinwheel in the beginning, there was some 8 to 5 issues. And that kind of hurt them, a tad bit in the beginning. Granted, they didn't have any more after that, but it was some major 8 to 5 issues coming into the field show. Alright? When we get to the breakdown, they had the features. Definitely had the features, but I felt like it could be cleaner. A good example of what should have been a little bit tad bit cleaner as far as unison is on the far right. I think that's the woodwinds. they had a lot more energy than some other band members, and some other band members were not just putting in enough energy. Okay, there was a couple other spots too where it was just kind of a little clustered, just a tad bit. I feel like it can just be a tad bit cleaner, but very good field show overall. So did they get a passing grade? They got a 28. Yes, they did. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fire y'all. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. They got a dub on their name. Finally. So, well-deserved dub from North Carolina Central. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. I grade all types of content like this from them. So, this won't be my only time seeing them. I got more to come. Okay? So, with that being said, let's move on. Alright? So, we got Hampton University. Hampton University. So this is going to be very interesting to see Hampton. This is my first time seeing them this season. So I do not know what to expect from them, but I'm hoping that whatever they do bring is going to be exciting. Okay? So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. What my expectations from them is just for them to sound clean and do what they need to do to handle business. You feel me? That's all I got to say. So with that being said, let's get into the action. I think this is my first time ever seeing them on the field, to be honest with you. So, we're going to see what they got going on. Alrighty. Okay. Drum majors. Wow, that was dope. I like how they're using the field to spread out. Cool. Slight 8 to 5 issues. They might just get down, ain't they?
Taking the time.
tad bit more in that song. It's a complicated song. Got a couple holes on the field. Alright, so entrance is a 5. Songs, I'm going to give them a 4. Formations, a 5. Dancers, a 5. Breakdown, a 5. Creativity's a 5. They got a 29. So, almost a perfect and almost a perfect 30. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. This is my first time ever seeing Hampton on the field, so it was really refreshing to see what they brought to the table, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. That's real nice right there, you know. So Hampton definitely handled some business. So it wasn't enough for them to get a grade, a dub on their name. Yes. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fire! There it is, ladies and gentlemen. They got them a dub on their name. Well deserved. Well deserved. So they got a real good field show. One thing I like about it, it had a lot of intensity with their field work. You know, they utilized their field like really nice. Their field was really, really nice. They drilled. Okay, I really enjoyed it. You know, they didn't have to do anything too extravagant, but it was to the point and it was very entertaining. Okay? So, one thing I would say about that piece, it wasn't, reason why I gave them 4 songs is because that song with the dancers, when the dancers came out, I just felt like it could just be a tad bit cleaner. They had to work on articulating and getting those runs together. So, but besides that, it was good. Straight good show. Alrighty. So, let's move on. So, we got Howard University. This is going to be interesting because I got Howard on my tier list, on the SEEK tier list. And I said that, well, not SEEK, but the MEEK tier list. And I was saying, man, they're really pretty good. Howard's pretty good. You know, one thing I like about this band is the fact that they stay on top of their work on the field. Okay, so I don't know what to expect from them, but I'm excited. This is my first time seeing them this season as well, so I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring. So hey, hopefully, you know, they can secure a dub today. Okay, so let's get into the action. They one of them bands, though. They definitely one of them bands.
Are you ready to turn NCCU Stadium into Showtime Stadium? DC, stand up. It's showtime. Stand up. Let's do it. Let's make some noise for Howard University's Showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, the full team from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. From the Norfolk HBCU, our forward to lead team, representing excellence, tradition, and unshakable HBCU pride. Let's celebrate for our powerhouse of
Marching onto the field, let's see if they keep them lines straight.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Howard University Showtime Music Band! Making their entrance to some precious so clean, our commander, the bad news from Baton Rouge, here we go solemnly prevail from Newport News, Virginia, by way of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Also a tradition, the movement burger cut from Detroit, Michigan. Let's alive, a boss, let's alive.
That was nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Showtime kicks off the show with an outcast tribute. Maryland, people, the way you move. Ladies and gentlemen, focus your eyes on the 50-yard line and Showtime features Buckhead City Dodgers represent the 2025 College Best Mainframe of DC. National League, achievement at Howard University.
They're kicking some ass on the field right now. Ooh. Let's get that a grade. Alrighty. So, creativity, they got a 5. Breakdown, they got them a 5. Dancers, I'm going to give them a 5. Formations, I'm going to give them a 2. Songs, I'm going to give them a 4. Entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Okay? I'm going to explain why they got those grades. Alright? So, when it comes down to formations, you had not 1, not 2, but 3 people who forgot the field show. Alright? And it happened in different transitions of your field show. Okay? So, that's a major issue. That's a major issue when bandsmen forget not 1 but multiple people forget their field show. That's not good. For songs, when it got to the dance feature, I just feel like it can be a tad bit cleaner. Okay, so was it enough for them to pass? Let's find out. Let me do some calculation here. They got them a 26. A 26. So they missed it by 1 point. Alright? So, no dub for this field show. Okay? But they will be seeing me more this season. So, if you're new to the channel or if you Howard family, please consider liking and subscribing because I will be grading some more content on them. Okay? So, they just didn't receive a dub from me from this performance, but I know they can do a tad bit better later on. So, hopefully they can rectify those issues that I pointed out with the people forgetting their field show. Okay? Like I said, if they would have, because when they first started, they was kicking some ass. But when they got like midway through that drill, that's when people started forgetting what to do. And I think that's what hurt them a lot. You know, I just think if they can fix those small things, they'd be a force to be reckoned with. But, you know, could have been better. Could have been better. Alrighty. Moving on. We got Winston-Salem State University. Let me rephrase that. So this is going to be interesting to see this band. They don't have the best record right now because they just lost 1, but they can definitely get them a dub on their record too off of this performance. So with that being said, don't know what to expect from this band. You know, they can bring that energy, and the main thing is if they can bring that energy and that heat, I think they can do what they need to do. And just need to make sure they stay consistent. That's all that matters. If they stay consistent, I think they'll be straight. Alright? So, let's get to the action. That was dope.
AT&T Business Helpful.
Winston-Salem State University. Redfield Sound. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Right down
Okay. Hey, Winston did pretty good. Winston did pretty good. Alright, so let's see what they got. Let's see if they made a passing grade for me, okay? Was not a perfect field show, but let's see if they got a perfect, not perfect, but a dub for me. Let's see. So creativity, I'm going to give them a 5. Breakdown, I'm going to give them a 5. Dancers is a 5. Formations, I'm going to give them a 4. Song selection, I'm going to give them a 3. Was just songs. 3. Entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Alright, so the reason why I gave them a 3 in songs, I just feel like it can be a tad bit cleaner for the songs. The first feature with the flags and features with the dance, I just feel like there was just some stuff that just needs to be sprucing up here and there, you know. It's missing the initial edge on that. Formations, it's just some small 8 to 5 issues here and there. People just had to work on just staying consistent with them using their peripheral with the 8 to 5 in their squads. Okay? But let's see, was it enough for them to pass? Let's find out. They got a 27. They got a 27. So they was able to secure a dub on their name. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fire. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. They got them a dub on their name. Finally, got them a dub on their name. So, happy for Winston. Well-deserved dub for them. They just need to stay consistent. Like I said, the only thing they have to really, truly work on is their songs. Make sure they spot check some parts in those songs, and I think they'll be okay. So, with that being said, let's get to the next person. Let's get to the next band. So, we got Bowie State University. This is going to be interesting to see this band do their thing. Bowie State, I only got a chance to see them just a couple times last year. So hopefully I get a chance to see them a lot more this year. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. You know, they didn't have too much footage, but I was able just to get some. You know, so hopefully I'll be able to see a little bit more this year from them. But this is my first time seeing them this season. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm hoping that they can put as much as they need to in this field show so they can secure a dub for me. Alright? Also, I have a membership program. In this membership program, you can see all types of band battles from the 90s on up. Again, 90s on up. You can see drumline battles that's only exclusive for this as well. You get set emojis. You get a special shout out for me. Just to showcase my appreciation for y'all being a part of the membership program. It's $2 a month. Again, that's $2 a month. Y'all can request band videos, etc. Y'all have an initial edge over my subscribers. Just want to throw that out there. Okay. Want to give a special thanks out to one of my new members to the family. She became a member this weekend, so really appreciate her. I'm going to give her a special thanks at the end of the video. But you kind of get what I'm getting at. I really want y'all to try to be a part of the subscribers, the members, be a part of the membership program here. If you don't want to be a part of the membership program, you can also hit that thank you tab. All proceeds will go into me affording YouTube Premium. As you can tell, there's been commercials just popping up at random. So with me having YouTube Premium, that prevents that. So again, just try to either be a part of the membership program if you want to, or hit that thank you tab. But if not, if you don't feel like doing all that, just hit that like tab. That's a free digital handshake for me. Alright? So, I'm going to shut up. Let's get to Bowie State.
about to witness should never be duplicated, for it should only be performed by its originator. Get ready for precision, attitude, style, and discipline at its best. You are about to witness the mighty, mighty, mighty SOS under the direction of Mr. Billy Bennett, Assistant Director Mr. Michael Simmons. It's the pride of the CIAA, hailing from Maryland's oldest HBCU, located right here in gorgeous Prince George's County. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, I present to you the Bowie State University Symphony of Soul!
Something.
As we proceed to give you what you need, it's a precision drill to Tyler the Creator's entitled Ring, Ring, Ring. Let's go! It's halftime, it's go time, it's Symphony of Soul time! Let's go! Now, if you love your HBCU, let me hear you make some noise! We are the standard of success, the mighty SOS!
Okay.
Technique, attitude, style, beauty, grace. Giving it to you like no other squad can. Performing the Britney Spears classic. It's the Dancing Divas. Work it out, ladies. It's the Sensations Color Guard. Sing along. There's nothing like an HBCU party, and no one does it better than the bulldog of Bowie State. Shout out to all Bowie State alumni! Hey! DMV, thanks for tuning in to WSOS, where we strive to march 8 to 5. Discipline, determination, and pride. Traits we strive to be, which is nothing but the best. We don't worry about the rest. Why? Because we're the mighty house on until next time, love, peace, and food. Hey, food, hey.
Alrighty. Let's give that a grade. Was not a perfect field show, but let's see what they got. I feel like this is a strong field show for them, from what I know. Alright. So creativity, I'm gonna give them a 5. Entrance, I'm gonna give them a 5. Songs, I'm gonna give them a 4. Formations, I'm gonna give them a 5. Dancers, I'm gonna give them a 4. Breakdown, I'm gonna give them a 4. Okay? So overall, did very well for the majority, but was it enough for them to pass? Let's find out. Got 27. They got a 27. Not bad, not bad. So they definitely got a passing record. So ain't nothing wrong with that, man. They did very well. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fire! There it is. They got that dub on their name. What I would say, and the reason why they got the 4s in certain categories, in the song selection, I just feel like in the songs it can just be a tad bit cleaner with the dance feature. It seems like that's a trend going on right now. Dancers, I just feel like they could have been just a tad bit cleaner. When they got to the middle of that dance feature, they kind of struggled a little bit. I just feel like it could just be a tad bit cleaner. Breakdown, there's some band members that were kind of confused on what they was doing. They were kind of guessing a little bit. Some of them were kind of stiff as well. So they had the length and the features, but I just feel like they could have been a little bit more cleaner in that department. But they still got to pass some grades, so there's nothing wrong with that. So hey, take that dub, y'all. Take that dub. Good job, Bowie State. Alright, so what I would like to say, if y'all new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Be a part of this family if you're part of the Bowie family. Okay? So, with that being said, let's move on. Alrighty, we got Virginia State University. Whew, Virginia State, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, all I gotta say is this is one of those bands to look out for, because this band can handle some business on the field. You feel me? This is one of them bands that can handle a lot of business on that field. Alright? So, with that being said, let's get into the action.
If your HBCU is the #1 HBCU, let me hear you make some noise! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being patient. The show is now about to begin. Far above the Appomattox, on its lofty hill, stands the school we love so dearly, and we always will. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with the utmost pleasure that I bring to you the most marvelous musical masterpiece on the East, the Virginia State University Marching Trojan Explosion, under the distinct direction of Dr. Taylor L. Whitehead. And now, drum majors, the commanders of Troy, Mr. Green, Mr. Plummer, and the first female drum major in 23 years. With the bass in your hand, let your presence be known at the Capitol Battle of the Bands.
Okay.
College Park, Maryland. This is the 2025 edition of the Virginia State University Marching Trojan Explosion. And now prepare to get off the wall
that.
Just a little bit as we bring to you the lovely ladies of the Satin Diva flag line, performing to the sounds of Joe, the classic R&B hit, All the Things. The sound that soothes the soul.
That was nice.
Oh, get ready. And now the explosion goes down for you with another exciting dance routine. So watch as we get down, get funky, and get loose. Explosion, let's do this. Let's go, Trojans. We go from Maryland to the BPA. Let's go! Let's get it! The explosion
Yeah.
is getting
Yeah. Yeah.
Bowie #1 and Busy 2 HBCU band by ESPN.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for what the show isn't over. Virginia State University, Department of Music, would like to thank you for your attention on tonight. And we now bring it to the sideline. All the Trojan fans, stand to your feet. Explosion. Let's go. Give it up. Explosion.
They did that. They did that. Oh man, Virginia State, man. Woo, that was nice. Perfect field show. It was a perfect 30 as well. Yes, indeed. They got them a perfect 30. That's something to brag about right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is something to brag about there. No complaints. No complaints at all. They kicked some ass on that field. They kicked some ass on that field, ladies and gentlemen. They did that. They did that. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fire. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. They got them a dub on their name. Not bad. Not bad. That was a very entertaining show. They had the energy. Everybody put that work in. Everybody did what they needed to do on that field. They executed everything that was required. Okay? Sound good. Formations look good. Dancers handled business. Breakdown had all the energy. Had a lot to look at. Had a lot to look at. Very, very, very clean. Very, very, very clean. So yes, well-deserved dub. Well-deserved dub from Virginia State. Alrighty. Last but not least, North Carolina A&T NCAT. You know, they love to put on a show. So I can't wait to see what they finna bring. What they gonna give us. Okay? So I'm very excited to see what they're gonna bring. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much to me. Alright? So after this video, well, after this grade, I will be giving who's the strongest band out of the whole group collective. Okay? They won't receive a dub from who's the strongest, but this would help everybody understand who was the strongest band out of the groups. Okay? Of bands that was here today. Okay? So I'm excited to see what NCAT's gonna do. The record kind of speaks for itself, so let's get to the action.
Have any Aggies in the house? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment that you've all been waiting for. The kings of halftime entertainment are on the field right now.
That sounds so good.
Make some noise for the blue and gold.
Very, very clean.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the as we present
Yeah. They hit that shit. I hear y'all NCAT.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the blue and gold marching machine to slow it down. Aggie style. We're gonna take you all the way back to 1978. Listen, as we bring to you the Isley Brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, the sounds of the blue and gold marching machine.
Oh, NCAT.
If you don't know how to make
Oh my goodness, NCAT.
To all the other fans, take note, because this is how halftime is really done.
That was nice. Alright, let's give that a grade. Woo, man. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. That was a beautiful ass field show, man. Very beautiful field show. Okay? Wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. Alright? So, song selection, well, entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Songs, a 5. Formations, a 5. Dancers, a 5. Breakdown, a 4. Creativity, a 5. Okay? They got a 29. Alright, so, almost a perfect 30. Okay? Reason why I gave them a 4 in breakdown, I just felt like I could have got one more feature from them, and they would have been straight. That's all I'm saying. Even if they broke it down in groove, I would have been okay with that. But it was an entertaining show. That was entertaining. My gosh, that was entertaining. Woo! NCAT. Alright. So, was it a passing grade? Yes, indeed it was a passing grade. So here you go, NCAT. Payah. There it is. There's that dub. Well-deserved dub. Well-deserved dub. Yes, indeed, NCAT. Wow. Alright. So
from here, we get the...
we want to know who's the strongest. Okay? So, that's what I'm finna let y'all know who was the strongest. So just give me a second. I'll pull that record up for y'all. Okay? Alrighty. So, who was the strongest band out of the group? Okay? So, before we get into this, please don't get in your feelings about these grades. It's nothing but love here, but this is my honest opinion on who was the strongest band out of the group. Okay? So, with that being said, number 1 is Virginia State University. Alright? Number 1. Alright? In second place, it was a 3-way tie. Okay? But for second place, number 1 spot is NCAT, North Carolina A&T. After that, I'm going to give it to Norfolk. And underneath that, I'm going to give it to Hampton. Okay? That's what I feel. Okay? In third place, we got North Carolina Central. Not bad, North Carolina Central. Had a good show. Real good show. In fourth place, we have a 2-way tie between Winston and Bowie. I'm going to get Bowie first over Winston. Okay? And in fifth place, we got Howard. Okay? And that's the battle, ladies and gentlemen. That's who I felt was the strongest. So, yes, I feel like Virginia State was the strongest band out of the group. And, you know, if we was compare apples to oranges underneath them, I got to give it to NCAT. All right? So, but that's my standards, ladies and gentlemen. But I really appreciate everybody who tuned in and watched this video all the way through. For people who skipped, you know, I really appreciate y'all for just tuning in, showing your boy some love. I want to give a special shout out to my channel members that make this channel great. You know, they, you know, are making strides to help me bring a lot more content to y'all. And also, you know, y'all can, you know, watch special videos that y'all request, you know, that members can request. So sometimes members can really influence what y'all see as well behind the scenes. So, but I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to my channel member for being a member this past weekend. But I'm finna get up out of here, man. And like I tell y'all always, deuces.